While Ghost Dog the Way of the Samurai is placed in modern America and engulfed in ancient Japanese thought, it's truly a western. A stoic hitman gets wronged, so he takes down the gang running the town. But it feels wrong generalizing this film in this way. It explores the clash of cultures in America, the prevalence of hatred post the civil rights era, and the tendency to hold on to traditional values. I want to call this film surreal, but I don't think that's completely true. For instance, there's two scenes that are directly adapted from one of my favorite films, Seijun Suzuki's Branded to Kill. First is when Ghost Dog is going to snipe one of the mafia bosses and a bird lands in front of the scope. Suzuki did the same, but with a butterfly. This is seen again when Ghost Dog shoots a man through his sink pipe, which Suzuki shot very similarly. But Ghost Dog had a laser on the pistol that appeared on the mob boss's head. These are both pretty surreal, cartoonish moments, but the film in totality feels like an image of America. That's truly the beauty of it, that the film rides this line between reality and the surreal. What truly happens in the story comes through Ghost Dog's allegiance to his code, though he finds some of the guidelines useful for his work, becoming a warrior, removing himself of individuality, and dedicating himself to a cause. He takes on the samurai mindset, ready to die on his ideals.
I'm ready to die!
While he buys into these principles, the modern world around him doesn't, especially since he lives in the cultural void of America. So when the mob turns on Ghost Dog, his loyalty leads to his end, unable to strike the man that previously saved his life and employed him since. But Louis doesn't feel the need to be faithful. He doesn't have a higher purpose dictating his actions. He's an old man who spent his entire life being a mafia underling. It's his sense of self-importance that's allowed him to exist this long, living off his boss's crumbs. But it's shown almost instantly to the audience that the mob bosses are ready to trash their runts at any point.
Forget about it. Handsome Frank fucked up. You can pay your respects at the funeral with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Louis doesn't have any security, seeing all those around him either being taken out by the mob or captured by the police, so he realizes his place isn't cut in stone, especially as they threaten to bury him alongside Handsome Frank. Louis watched his world crashing down around him. Once the mafia was formidable, strong, and young, running the city, but now they're dying out and those that are left are fading away in their decrepit pool hall shrouded in smoke. The world's moved past them, and all they feel is hatred, mad that they can't function in the same way they had, but also in the change in demographics. Completely discrediting those that are different, the mob members mostly see race before character, but it's through ignorance or the unwillingness to understand other cultures. Seeing all these other races is the same, but Louis is a little different. He made the decision to step in and save Ghost Dog when he was getting attacked. Then, realizing the professionalism and respect Ghost Dog has shown him, he can't hate the guy. But when it's his life or Ghost Dog's, he still decided to take the path of self-indulgence. Before the end, he feels in contrast to the rest of the mob. While he still risks his life working for them, he doesn't feel as stuck in the past as the others. But Ghost Dog feels the furthest in contrast from the entirety of the mob. He moves alone, but he radiates love. Though he doesn't have many relationships, it's because he's outside of society, living as a hitman. So he doesn't relate to other people living a regular life. But he becomes connected to the girl as she reminds him of his childhood, and to the ice cream man because he cannot function socially in America, not knowing the language, so they can enjoy each other's company without truly communicating. They find peace in being able to speak to each other, becoming linked, respecting each other enough to listen. They learn to read each other's mannerisms. Because they spent so much time with each other, they can conclude what's being told to them. They formed a true friendship. Though Ghost Dog is seen to be a ruthless killer, he isn't devoid of emotion. Though he isn't an emotionally involved killer, he can build relationships with people, that he still has love in his heart. He separates these two sides of his being. As he sees himself as a samurai following the way, Ghost Dog understands that his kind is becoming extinct, as the world moves further and further away from ancient ideologies. So, in the same way, the American gangsters are a dying breed, As technology has gotten better and the law has gotten stronger at deterring organized crime, the life these gangsters once lived would get them put in prison today. So these nearly geriatric, about to be traked mobsters are doing what they can to hold on to their heydays. They focus on trying to eliminate Ghost Dog since he's the last link to the old. Not in what he believes, but he holds the baggage of their crimes. Though he is a ghost to them, he's a vulnerability to the bosses, since he could get caught and tear down the last pieces of their falling empire.
Better him than you, right, Louis?
But once Lewis showed Ghost Dog only one of them were walking away, Ghost Dog allowed him to shoot, as he wanted to die on his ideals, not attacking the man he sees as his boss, willing to see his end rather than break his code to save himself. In this way, Ghost Dog won. He was able to go out the same way the samurai did, dying by his code. There's a running symbol that appears throughout the film, the consumption of cartoons. The cartoons are all violent, which is very clear when Itchy and Scratchy appear on the screen. The mobsters watch them, and Lois is seen watching cartoons most of the time when she's in the shot. I think it shows that violence is woven into us. Cartoons being made to keep the attention of kids, so they appeal to instinct, which leads to conflict, making violence seem like the only certainty in life other than death. But this extends further in relation to the mob and Ghost Dog, that being a warrior or gangster leads brutality to be a normal part of your life. Violence is Ghost Dog's trade, and it's the way that the gangsters have held their power. So it's become normalized in the same way that cartoons normalize confrontation, that when you look at history, what we teach and remember is conflict. War is all humanity has ever known. And all this film really shows the dichotomy of love and hate, that we could accept everyone for their uniqueness, or we could hate everyone that isn't like us. But what would create a better world? There's a reason why progress is made through time, that our values have changed from those in the past. So while there's truths in texts like Hagakure or religious texts like the Bible, there are pieces of archaic thought that should be left in the past. But no matter how hard we work to progress, we will never be able to cut the violence that built us out of our lives. So, I just hope y'all enjoyed watching this, as much as I enjoyed putting it together. And I hope y'all have a good day, or night, or